Hey everyone, Stephanie Lucrezio. Hope you are all doing well. I'm going to wait a couple of moments for people to pop on. When you pop on, just say hello. Let me know that you can hear me and see me and that all is well with our broadcast. Welcome to everyone popping on. Just pop a comment and let me know that you can hear and see me. I hope you're all doing well. It was a beautiful day today, thank God. So I wanted to come to you with some thoughts on the new normal. So I'm assuming the hearts mean that you guys can hear me. Hi guys, hello, yes, good. Okay, beautiful, just wanna make sure. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the new normal. There's been a lot of things that I've been reading, a lot of videos that I've been watching, and I was out there today. Hi, hello everyone. Beautiful, thank you. Thank you for popping on, so good to see all of you. So let's just get into it. This whole new normal that we're talking about, that we're seeing, I had a funeral today. One of my husband's and my dear friends passed away, early 40s, really great guy. He had some issues. It wasn't related to COVID. We don't think, we're waiting for exactly what it was, but we suspect a heart attack, 42 years old. And he went into the bathroom at work and just never came out. So it was a really sad couple of days hearing this news, and hearing this news and being there and seeing what you normally see at a funeral and a wake, people that are really upset and uncomfortable and crying, and it's just an awful scene. But what disturbed me today was I went over to the person who lost, my friend lost somebody. We lost a friend recently, and I had the burial today. So I went over to hug her, to say, I'm so sorry, that you're going through this. I can't even imagine, because that's what you do when you go to a wake or to a funeral. You are there to comfort the people that are experiencing this horrific and unexpected loss in this case. And when me and my husband went to go hug her, she said, oh, we're not supposed to do that, because, the people from the cemetery and people around are like looking. And I'm thinking in my head, like, this is pathetic. Like, this is a pathetic world that we live in. Everyone is standing around with masks on, 6 feet apart. People can't get too close together. They have lines outside of the graveyards that you have to go in specifically at the time that you need to the gravesite. When we got there, everyone kind of quartered off into their own little family pods. So whoever came together stood in their little group, and then 6 feet away there was another group, and everyone had their masks on. And it was funny, because when we first got out of the car, I didn't immediately put my mask on. I can't say it enough. I do not want to breathe in my own carbon dioxide. I don't understand why I would be told to do so, when everyone from the World Health Organization to Dr. Fauci himself has said that there are no proven benefits of wearing a mask unless you work in the, you like the decor. I have to show you guys the mask that I ordered the other day. It doesn't fit me, but it's great. It says a statement. So I'm like, I'm not putting the mask on until I absolutely have to, because I can't breathe with it on. And my husband's like, well, it makes everybody else comfortable for you to wear it. And here's the questions of the people that are on here that may feel more comfortable wearing a mask. And I'm not judging you. I don't understand personally, because I don't really see the benefit of breathing in my own carbon dioxide. But if you are wearing a mask and I choose not to wear a mask, how am I putting the person that has the mask on in harm when I'm choosing not to wear the mask? It's like the vaccines. If the vaccines are safe and effective and they work, and you choose to make that decision for yourself and your family, more power to you, go right ahead. But if I choose to do something different, then how does that negatively impact your choices? I can't understand what the deal is. And no, I'm not going to be uncomfortable to make someone else comfortable. And my rights do not begin where your fear starts. Like, my rights don't end where your fear begins. That's the saying. And it's so true, because I'm standing there, I'm in a place in Brooklyn, there's open air, Greenwood Cemetery is beautiful. There's trees everywhere. There's actually people walking in the graveyard, which I find very interesting. I would not really go for a walk in a cemetery, but okay, have at it. I don't live in Brooklyn, so I don't know. But people that are walking have their masks on. People that are bike riding have their masks on. This is not normal. This is not this is not a normal thing. I don't understand. Mother's Day came, and I went to go see my mom. We sat on the deck 6 feet apart. I wasn't allowed to give her a hug. which I understand. I mean, she's starting radiation because she's going through breast cancer treatment. So I know we have to be very careful with her. But it's just crazy, like not to be able to give the people that you love a hug. And then I see this video today that shows the new normal in schools. So I just want to say one thing. For the people that have posted saying that they don't want their kids to be in a school where there's masks and there's social distancing and there's all this creepy stuff going on, where are you at the rallies? Where are you in New Jersey? And I'm not judging or criticizing. I'm just really asking a very sincere question, because I feel like there's a very victim mentality going on right now, that people feel like, you know, well, this is how it is and there's nothing that we can do. And I am very much the opposite. I believe that the government was created by the people for the people. So when the government starts not working for the people, that's when the people need to come together and stand against the government, because we way outnumber the people in the government. So when you feel a certain way, like people are like, well, you know, I have to work, I don't have a choice. If they require masks, I'm going to have to send them with masks. And the choice that you need to make is now. The choice is now. The time is now to start having these conversations with your legislators, to start getting involved with calling, asking questions about how exactly do you plan to keep kindergartners away from each other? How do you plan to make children with special needs, sensory processing disorder, autism, ADHD, all these different conditions that we have going on with our kids? How do you plan to make a kid with asthma or severe allergies wear a mask in school for 8 hours? What does it look like to no longer have gyms, to have the gyms cordoned off, the playgrounds cordoned off, to have to maintain social distance in school because you can't be near each other? You have to stay 6 feet apart. There's pictures of children in a Chinese country. I don't know if it's China or what exactly country it is, but they have these giant hats on with these propellers to tell you when you're not within a 6-foot range. They have plexiglass things around the desks. What is happening? And you're not wearing, okay, someone just said you have to wear a mask to protect other people, not yourself. Patricia, I have a question for you. If I'm not wearing a mask and you are wearing a mask and you believe that that mask works, why do I need to wear a mask to protect you? Me not wearing a mask does nothing but protect me, put me in a situation where I'm in danger. If I'm going to visit somebody that's elderly or immunocompromised and I go to see them, I then will put a mask on to protect them at those moments, and they can wear a mask. But when I'm outside in a store, walking in a park, why do I need to put a mask on? You know, there's a point where you're no longer living, you are just existing. We are just existing right now. It is one day, falls into the next, falls into the next, falls into the next. We wake up, we go for a walk, we come in, we make food, we clean up food, we help the kids with schoolwork, we go back to sleep. We are not living, we are existing. And I do not want to continue to live in a place where I can't hug the people that I love. I can't smile at somebody walking. You can't smile at people with these masks on. Everyone looks like this. This is what you walk into. Everybody walks like this. You can't even smile at somebody. People are like wide-eyed and petrified. And yeah, exactly. I'm just reading the comments. Sorry. So yeah, so the kids going back to school with the mask on is preposterous. And if you are outraged by this, if you are outraged, know that there are some very real conversations going on. We have heard wind of them on the news. There are some very real conversations going on right now about what the new normal looks like in school. And some of these conversations are about this. They're about staggering attendance, having a morning crowd and an afternoon crowd, having much smaller classrooms, separating those desks 6 feet apart, closing off gymnasiums and playgrounds and cafeterias. So basically, the socialization aspect that everybody talks about when you go to school has basically been removed. You're just there to be indoctrinated. They're like little indoctrination camps, because what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to indoctrinate these kids to show that doing what they're doing with masks and social distancing has to be the new normal. So there's going to be all types of educational videos to be like, oh, you know, this is how we're kind to our neighbors. We're kind to our neighbors by wearing masks and by staying away from each other. And guess how you get out of having a mask? Let's take a guess. Does anybody know the answer to that question? Just type it in there. There's one word that will eventually get you out of the mask and into being able to breathe air. And it is a vaccine. It is the COVID-19 vaccine that is going to get you freedom again to breathe in air and not breathe in carbon dioxide. So we need to stop this. We need to stop this. I read an article about the airports. So the new norm at airports could look like, oh my God, I don't know who you are, but it's really funny. Tyra Banks used to say, smile with your eyes on America's Next Top Model. And someone said, we'll have to teach people how to smile with their eyes again. That's really hysterical. I don't know if he's being serious, but if he's joking around, I find that hysterical. So the other thing that I was thinking about is airports. I read something about airports and how now the check-in time for airports, you'll need to allot like 4 hours to check into an airport because they're going to have temperature checks. You're going to have to wear masks and gloves. Can you imagine being on a plane for 6 hours and having to wear a mask for 6 hours? I honestly feel like I would end up having a panic attack and having to ground the plane off course because I would not be able to sit on a plane for 6 hours with the mask on. I can barely keep it on for 15 minutes without having a panic attack. So having to wear masks, having to wear gloves. They mentioned something about decontamination stations for your luggage and yourself. So I have to walk through a decontamination tunnel to get onto a plane. My baggage has to be sprayed with toxic chemicals to be able to put it on the bottom of the plane. You're not going to be able to have any carry-on luggage, and anything that you have has to be sprayed down. What is happening? How is this normal? How is this okay? I don't understand. Oh my God. So RMS Matter, and I don't know what your name is. So are you on board with this whole concept of walking around like this forever and just like being bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? And this is how we're Remy. Hi, Remy. Are you on board with the whole concept of wearing masks all the time and just learning to smile with our eyes instead of actually being able to smile? Yeah, no food or drinks on the plane. So yeah, there's a lot of things to think about. And all I want to say to everybody is, let everyone mask waves. You're right. The answer is to let everyone get it. Oh, sweet Jesus. Dave, you need to look at the numbers, my dear. So let's just talk about the numbers for a moment, because I always compare this to like a blizzard. So when you have a weather person that says that we're going to get 6 feet of snow and go out, stock up, get your salt, get your groceries, make sure you have everything ready because it's going to be epic. This blizzard is going to be epic. You're going to be trapped in your house for weeks, right? And then you get 2 inches of snow. People are pissed off. Like, I went through all of this and nothing. Think about this. They predicted, even with the social distancing measures, okay, that we were going to lose somewhere around 1 million people. That were the models in the beginning that Fauci talked about. Then it went down to 500,000. Then it went down to 250,000. We haven't even reached 100,000 last time I checked. And if you're actually paying attention to what's happening and you're not just watching mainstream news and not questioning, Dr. Birx has said over and over again that they are being, and I quote, liberal with the numbers. So if you die from something, a heart attack, cancer, diabetic shock, you get hit by a car, you jump out of a plane and the parachute doesn't open, and they test you and you have COVID-19 present in your system, that death has been coded as a COVID-19 death. That's actually happening. That is not me making conjecture or trying to be a conspiracy theorist. This has actually been admitted on the news. Italy has gone back now and they're starting to redo their numbers because they were, quote, liberal with the numbers as well. So if you've had, in New Jersey, I think we've had 8,000 deaths and like 139,000 cases. That was the last number that I checked. The death rates are around 0.3, not even 1%. 0.3% of people that are getting this are actually passing away from it. And I'm not saying that 0.3% of people don't matter. All I'm saying to you is that 0.3% is a very small percentage of the population when you look at all the things that we die from. Medical malpractice is number 2 or 3 on the list of why people die every year. Hundreds of thousands of people die every year from doctors making mistakes. If we wanted to really create fear and panic around that, no one would ever walk into a surgical room again. No one would ever go to a doctor's office again, because we'd be terrified of what our odds are to die from medical malpractice. People die from obesity. You don't see them closing fast food joints and banning that. People die from cancer. You don't see them stopping the spraying, the aerosol spraying of chemicals, and stopping putting up 5G towers, which have had no health and human studies at all whatsoever. You don't see them stop putting genetically modified ingredients in our food and spraying our foods with all type of toxic chemicals and pesticides. So at some point you have to look at it and say, does this new normal that they're painting a picture of, does it make sense? Is it a reality that I want to live in? Is it a reality that I want to raise my family in? And is the solution to the problem actually more harmful than the problem itself? And if you are asking these questions and you're looking at the actual numbers and not getting caught up in the panic of the fear, it is not 60 times the mortality of the flu. I'm going to post articles for you because, Dave, you really need to get educated on this. And I really, not sure where you're getting your information from, but there are documents, tables, things that show the percentage rates of how many people are dying, and the average percentage is 0.3. And you're right, it's probably gonna get worse, because when you keep people locked in their homes like caged animals with no access to fresh air, no access to anything, you spray them with Lysol and keep them locked in a bubble. It's like not going to the gym for 2 years and then going back to the gym and trying to get back to a place where you're actually able to lift the same weights. Your body atrophies. Just like muscles atrophy, if your immune system is not constantly stimulated and being exposed to bacteria and pathogens and things that help to strengthen your immune system is weakened. Not to mention that vitamin D, sunshine, breathing in fresh air, what you eat, what you put on your body, what you put in your body, all makes a difference. And none of this is being talked about clearly, because all the stuff that should be sold out in supermarkets is very much present. The produce sections are fuller than full everywhere that I go. When you go into the meat sections, you go into the junk food sections, you go into the toilet paper section, because apparently people are buying things that are making them go to the bathroom at record rates. Those things are gone. So everything that we're doing right now is ass backwards. I'm just going to say straight out. I'm not saying that the initial lockdown, when we first began, the first 2 weeks, maybe even the first month, I think it's a little extreme, but I understood in the beginning because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. It was a new virus. We didn't know how many people were going to die. We needed more PPE. We needed more ventilators. Everyone was screaming for more ventilators, more PPE. We brought in the USS Comfort. We created mock hospitals in the Jacob Javits Center, places all over the place. And yet Governor Cuomo was still sending elderly patients with COVID to overcrowded nursing homes, which makes absolutely no sense to me when you have all these places that you could send people. So you're talking about, I'm in a blue state. You're talking about all these resources that we needed. We get the resources. We see that the death rate really isn't anything like what they said it was going to be. Most people, 80% of people, and they have said this, 80% of people that get this won't even know that they have it. So, if 80% are going to be okay, 15% get it, and maybe 5% need to be hospitalized. And the other thing that we need to talk about is what's happening in those hospitals, because if you're unnecessarily or too quickly put on a ventilator, the chances of you walking out of that hospital are slim to none, if any. So people are dying for a lot of reasons. People are dying because they're not getting access to the proper treatment, which hydroxychloroquine has been shown to be a very effective way to treat COVID. And it's crazy to me how they tear it apart when you have all these people that have had severe vaccine injuries, and it still keeps the slogan of safe and effective because there's some way to profit off of that. And with hydroxychloroquine, there is no way to profit because it's an inexpensive drug. There's no patents. There's nothing special about it. So the pharmaceutical companies that stand to produce millions and billions of dollars in profit from the vaccine that they're going to create, which is going to make it worse. The vaccine is going to be the thing that makes it worse, because I guarantee you that that vaccine will have live viruses in it, and that is going to then shed. Plus, they're talking about the flu shot. So you're creating almost like the super bug. So it's really time. And I want to speak to my medical freedom warriors, the one that were out there with me in December and January in the state of New Jersey. I don't know where a lot of you are. I know that it is a different time right now. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't the popular thing at the moment. And that's something that we all have to learn to sit with. There is a certain discomfort in being a leader. There is a certain discomfort in speaking your mind and being brave. And I get the social implications. I get it's not the same fight. It's not the same fight. It's so much bigger and so much scarier than what we were fighting about in December. And that's why I don't understand why we don't have thousands and thousands of people out there with their signs, with their horns, in their cars, with masks, without masks. I don't care what people choose. I hate to be able to tell you have overslept. Oh, you're cute. I am very woke. So yeah, it's really time to get out there and start speaking to our legislators, start being out there with each other, protesting and letting them know that we're not going to sit by and just watch them create this new normal that nobody seems to want to live in. When I posted today about this mask thing in school, out of 400 responses, I got like 2 or 3. Yeah, I guess I have to. I'm not really happy about it. But so, oh my God, he called me Karen. Oh, I have to block you. You really, no, ignorance is bliss. I got called Karen. I gotta love Karen. So not to use that one. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tammy. If I can hook up with someone. Okay, so here's the thing. If you want to go and you want to hook up with someone, inbox me, because I can definitely find you people to hook up with. There's no possible way that we won't have issues with that. There is a Telegram group that I have set up called New Jersey Freedom Warriors. If you're on Telegram, find me on Telegram. If you want to join the New Jersey Freedom Warriors group on Facebook, there are 3 questions that you'll need to answer to get into the group for approval. If you want to jump onto my mailing list, I'm going to put something in the comments for you to hop onto my mailing list. Using Facebook to promote gatherings at this point is something that's not really able to be done the way that we did it in December and January. So we've had to change our strategy a lot. But there are things in the works, and we need people to be there. We need every single person. And for those of you who've expressed concern, maybe you're not like, a Trump lover and you don't love the fact that people are carrying Trump flags or wearing Trump hats. We have to put all of this aside right now, because the enemy of our enemy is our friend. So I don't care what political party you're affiliated with. I don't care what your background is, what your sex, what your race, what your, religious orientation. I don't care about any of it. If you are with me on the issue of keeping the normal, yes, please PM me. If you are with me on the issue of keeping our normal as it is and not moving the goal line, allowing our kids to build their immune system through being exposed, changing the way that we do things to being proactive instead of reactive, not waiting for the pharmaceutical gods to produce the godsend that's going to save us when we have the ability to save ourselves. That thing is called our immune system, and we all are born with. So let's start to support our immune system. Let's not fall prey to thinking that this new normal has got to happen. We actually have a say in what happens and how it goes. And we need to remember that we are not victims of our own circumstance. We live in a free country the last time I checked. Even though it looks like we're moving towards communist China little by little in certain states, especially the blue ones, we live in America. And yes, contact tracing. Thank you for bringing that up, Leslie. So contact tracing is happening. If you have not updated your phone on Apple yet, shut off your automatic updates, because your automatic update, the next one, is going to have a COVID tracing app on your phone. So technology companies are using their phones and their devices to help pharma companies and doctors and hospitals and government officials to track and trace every move that we make, every person that we come into contact with. And if you are in contact with someone that tests positive for COVID, in certain states, depending on where you are, you could potentially be removed from your home and put into isolation for 2 weeks if you test positive, because apparently isolating in your house is no longer a safe thing. So it is, okay, so Mary, you need to tell me what a Faraday bag is. Send me a message about that, because yes. So Lizard85 posted, please do not protest or meet. You will get a lot of people sick. Lizard85, please, 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 please start to do some research and look at what the actual death rates of COVID-19 are. They are less than 1%. They are about 0.3% average across the country. Some places are higher and some places are lower. And these are with numbers that are extremely, extremely inflated. Every single person that dies, whether they die from COVID or they die with COVID, the cause of death is COVID. So there is a lot of stuff going on that people on the news, especially the fake news, are not telling you. So I would highly suggest, before you lose your freedom and you live in a country that you don't recognize and you have to raise your kid in a world where they have to wear a mask and gloves to go to school and social distance and not be able to be close to anybody. You're not able to hug people in public. You have to stand on lines around blocks to get into supermarkets. If this is the world that you want to live in, then keep going down the path that you're going. But this is not the world that I brought my child into, and this is not a world that I will accept as my reality. When I do not fear disease, I do not fear, because I take care of my body. I treat my body like the temple that it is, and I do the same for my family. So I would suggest you start taking a proactive approach to your health. Get on a supplement routine. Make sure that you're eating whole, healthy foods. Make sure you're exercising your body. You're breathing in fresh oxygenated air instead of your own carbon dioxide, and that you're taking care of yourself the way that you need to. Because at the end of the day, we have the power. Like the Wizard of Oz says, you've had the power all along. You just didn't know it was there. It's there. We just need to do the things that we have to support it. And you're not going to see that information on the news. So for the people that are afraid of getting people sick and whatever else, wear a mask. If you have someone in your house that is immunocompromised or elderly and you are worried about bringing something back, there is no shame in the game of protesting with the mask on. There is no judgment or criticism. If you have to bring your kids to a protest, bring your kids to a protest. Stay in the caravan, stay in your car, beep your horns, chalk up your car, get your kids involved, hold up signs, have an American flag waving out. There are ways that you can be part of this and not put yourself or anyone else at risk. So healthy people can get sick too. Absolutely. Healthy people can get sick. People get sick all the time. My son had the flu earlier this year. He never even spiked his temperature. Everybody's body deals with things differently, and you are able to support your immune system to help you to stay healthy, even in the face of being exposed to pathogens and being exposed to bacteria and viruses, by doing the things that they don't teach you on TV. Look at what's in your shopping cart. Start to read labels and look for chemicals and not calories. Start to move your body, walk, go for a run, do some yoga, roll out your mat. Do things to help with your stress management. Make sure that the foods that you're putting in your body nourish your body and not damage it. Take supplements. There's so many things that we can do to help ourselves. Smoke crack. I mean, if you want to, yeah, sure. That's a very, 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 very good thing for some people to do. I wouldn't do it, but have at it, whatever you feel good about. So yeah. I just want people to start thinking about, I'm very big on what it is you want to create. And I posted today that none of this was on my vision board for 2020, and not one thing like this is on my vision board. And I do not envision my child growing up in a world where, in order to gain access to, that's the other thing. The House of Representatives Bill 6666, I think there's 4 sixes, absolutely terrifying. They are looking to basically buy small businesses, churches, and schools with this grant. And in order to be eligible for the grants, I haven't read the full language of the bill. I need to have a cup of coffee or some sort of caffeine to get through the whole thing because it's long. But the essence that I got from it is you are basically getting these grants if you're going to require that once this COVID vaccine is available, that every single person that comes through your store or your church or your school have this vaccine. So it's going to be kind of like Nazi Germany. And I know people don't like that comparison, but I'm really sorry I don't have anything else to compare it to in history, where you had to show your papers or wear a gold star, in this case wear a mask, or some sort of marking to show that you are not safe, you are not clean, you are not vaccinated, you are not able to have all the same access to social engagements as a person who is deemed clean and compliant with all the things. This is where it's going. Real ID driver's license. Yes, exactly. They're already starting it. All the driver's license records are going to now be tied to the Department of Health in a lot of states. There's bills out there that do this. So for those of you that think people like me, vaccines and microchip, yes, there's microchip parties happening all over the place. It's something that's cool. So, it's a very real possibility. And I think for people that choose to stick their head in their sands and just close their eyes and pretend like this isn't happening, that is not the way to stop it. You can't stop it by turning your head and letting me or somebody else fight for you. You need to fight with me, because if you don't fight with me now, it's going to be really too late once they get to the point where they're starting to put these things in place. We need to have these conversations with our legislators right now. So in the next day or so, I'm going to start giving you action items on what legislators to call. I mean, I'm going to be speaking to what's happening in New Jersey, but the whole thing of Senate Assembly districts, I think that that's something that happens all over the country and all over the world. So yes, we are living in an HBO movie. For sure. It's not a good one. So make sure that you're starting to have these conversations. I will be giving you some things to say, some topics, some questions to make you, oh, Deborah, you're running for a committee seat. We need to talk about that. I need to get you on a live so you can come and speak to everybody about what your platform is. I would love to support you. That's amazing. Thank you. So yeah, we need to start calling, we start having the conversations, having meetings and attending these gatherings that we're having, these rallies. We're calling on some of our, friends in the political game, some assembly people and some senators to be there with us. So there may be some of that coming as well. So that's what I got for you tonight. This new normal is not something that I'm on board with. I don't want to be marked. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be traced. I don't want to be vaccinated. I don't want my kid to go to school in a place where he has to wear a mask and gloves and sit in a plexiglass cubicle 6 feet away from his friends. I don't want to have to go to the airport and be sprayed down in decontamination stations to get on a plane where I'll be forced to wear a mask for 6 hours and gloves, breathing in my own carbon dioxide and having anxiety attacks because I'll never take a plane again. And I certainly do not want to be in a world where I can't hug somebody who just experienced a tragic loss of their spouse. I don't want to be in this world. So I am not going to be complacent. I am not going to sit quietly like a good girl and just listen and worry about what people think and the judgment and the criticism and all of it. Someone once told me that opinions, and this is a little bit crass, but it's very appropriate. Opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. So if you're going to live your life to be pleasing for other people and to be accepted in your social circles and to fit into the herd, that's on you. I was born to stand out. The people that I stand with get how important it is to be critical thinkers, to be truth seekers, to be people who are out there who are brave enough to be the change that we wish to see in the world. And that's what we need a lot more of right now. So if you're holding back and you're hiding because you're worried about being accepted and fitting in, it is time to let it go, because the new normal, the solution to this problem of COVID-19, to me is much scarier than the problem itself. And I will not live in a world where my child has to walk around all day for 8 hours with a mask on. I will not stand in line around the block for the rest of my life having to get groceries. I will not hug my family. I won't. I just won't do it. So instead of being complacent and feeling like I can't do anything and throwing my hands up, I am ready to do whatever it takes to give one final push to save what's left of our constitutional freedoms. And I hope that each and every one of you will join me in this battle that we are currently fighting. So if you have not signed up for my email address, make sure that you go ahead and do it. I will drop the link. If you want to be in New Jersey Freedom Warriors, please go into the group, request access, fill out the answers to the questions, and then we will approve your access. If you're on Telegram, please find me on there. Let's connect. And if you have any information that I need, know that if you send me inboxes, I get hundreds of inboxes a day. So yeah, what we're going to do, there's going to be a plan. We are going to make sure that we're connected. There's going to be rallies that are going to come up. There's going to be action items. If you're not on Twitter, you need to get to Twitter. So go to twitterswarm.com. I think it's jointheswarm.com. I posted it the other day and I'll post it again. Jointheswarm.com, daily action alerts to make sure that you're active on Twitter and that you are having a stake in the game as far as the narrative that's going on out there. And we're going to start having conversations with our legislators again. So stay tuned for more details on what the topics are going to be, who we're calling. I will be coming to you with action items, I hope daily. It's Join the Swarm. So hold on one second. Join the swarm.com. Okay, I just put it in there. So, you should be able to get it. If not, I'll share it again. We need a ton of people on Twitter. Twitter is really huge right now. And I suggest if you're on Facebook that you find your local elected officials, your assemblymen or women or both, and your senators, and that you follow them. You stay in touch. Make sure that you are promoting the people who are supporting us and that you're exposing the people who are not. Nicole, okay, so Senator Time to Swarm, thank you. I'm telling you, my brain is not working. Join the Swarm, Time to Swarm. Yeah, it's timetoswarm.com. So Declan O'Scanlan, and Declan, if you're listening, I would love to have a conversation with you because he confuses me. I don't trust him, and I've expressed there is a something coming up on a beach. I don't know for sure that it's him, but I'm almost positive that it's going to be in his district and that he's going to want to speak. And I can't get behind something like that because this man single-handedly almost destroyed our entire effort in Trenton. And he stared people in the face and said that he was with us, and he was not with us. So to me, once you cross me once, I'm going to have a very hard time believing you again. I do think right now that there is a real opportunity for legislators that want to stand out and stand up against Murphy, who don't agree with these draconian, restrictions that we have currently in place, have a platform right now to gain some popularity and gain some momentum as we go into an election year. So that might be what is prompting him for some of these tweets, because it's like someone stole his Twitter account. I don't know what's happening. So if you're in his district, I would highly suggest giving him a call, maybe setting up a meeting and revisiting where he's at. It might be a good time to till the soil and plant some more seeds now that he's seeing how freedom is being removed. It might be a good time to remind him about medical freedom and where it fits into our constitutional rights, because either you believe in the Constitution or you don't. You can't pick and choose what amendments you want to believe in. So I think it might be a good time to have a conversation, but I definitely don't trust him. Testa, we definitely spoke to. Nick wants to vote for me if I throw in my couch. That's a very interesting. Yeah, so far, as far as I know, Panaccio, Dougherty, Dougherty, I always say his name wrong, Testa, Holly, there are a lot of them that have stepped out. All the Republicans, my senator, Senator Bateman, he's been amazing. So there's definitely senators there. But I think that the thing right now is to start, even Sweeney, who was not with us, has started to come out and say things about, how we need to start opening. So I think that there's definitely an opportunity to have a conversation. I think we should take these opportunities to have conversations and to ask questions, because the truth is they don't have the answers to the questions that we're going to ask. They don't know. I don't know how they could possibly, the couch isn't for sale. Like, really? It's so distracting. So I think that it's a good opportunity to plant seeds and revisit some conversations. So I would say to start having, I will as soon as I get off. I would say good opportunity to start revisiting conversations and start reminding people that either you stand for the Constitution or you don't. And Yeah, Slimy Sweeney has definitely been saying things against Murphy, which is interesting. So I think that, there's opportunities to have conversations and to revisit and really see where people stand. Because again, either you are or you aren't. So let's create a strategy. I will definitely let you know what the conversations are, what the questions are going to be, but we need people to get involved. I can't do this with 300 people. I can't make a difference in New Jersey with 300 people. We need to recreate Trenton in a big way. We need to make sure that we have thousands of people lining the streets and that people are out there really standing for freedom. So that's the update. If you don't want the new normal, now is the time to speak up. It is super important. It is dire, actually, because once those freedoms are taken from us, as we can see, they suspended the Constitution because of this pandemic, and look at how hard it is to allow businesses to open. And this is the other thing. If you have a business, just open. A lot of places are doing that in Pennsylvania and Texas. Just open, because the truth of the matter is there are constitutional attorneys who are chomping at the bit to represent people who are taking their businesses back and saying, no thanks, we're not doing this, we're not staying closed. So make sure that you're, staying involved in the conversation. It's evolving day by day, and every day there's something new. So turn off the news, read, go on websites, make sure, how can we get our schools reopened, or at least have school? I don't think that the schools are going to open. I think that September is even pushing it at this point. And I think when they do open, a lot of the rules that they're going to have and regulations that they're going to have in place are going to be so ridiculous that a lot of people are not going to want to send their kids back to schools having to wear masks and gloves and social distance and create all this fear. So let's keep the conversation going. If you have questions, let me know, and make sure that you're not sitting passively and waiting for someone else to do this for you. Every single person, just like we did in Trenton, it took an army. It is going to take a massive army to undo this situation and get back to a place where normal looks like we used to remember it to be. Otherwise, this new world that we live in, this is going to be the new world. I'm not on board. So let's make a change. Let's be the change. Let's be bold. Let's be brave. And let's do this thing and take our country back. It is enough. So I'm Stephanie Lucrezio. If you have questions, reach out to me. I will post the link to subscribe, and I'm hoping to see you soon. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. This guy is really unbelievable. Nick, bye-bye, because as soon as I get off, you're going bye-bye. We could put autism in the